We are live, my friend. Let's see. Let's show this. How are you, Moises?
Live it is. I am feeling like $1,000,000.
Welcome, 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 all the viewers. My name is Rafael Alvarez. I am the CEO of I'm founder of the Latino Franchise Association. And today with me is Moisés Pérez, who is the president of the association. Moisés, ¿cómo está todo? How are you?
I am doing really good. I'm still boosted from our launch event and the response from so many people out there. It's just, I'm excited.
That is fantastic. That is fantastic. All right, all right. So today we're gonna do a recap about the Latino Franchise Association launch that took place about a few weeks ago, right? And that was such a great event that we decided to kind of come back and really talk about it. Isn't that nice, Moises? You
It
had a
was,
lot of fun, huh?
it was a great event, and it was so encouraging to have people from literally from every corner of the nation, including Puerto Rico. Está en mute.
Yeah, I got it. I was muted. Yeah, no, definitely. So we're gonna be talking about what took place, and we're gonna be talking about some of the activities event and what we're gonna be doing to benefit a lot of Latinos nationwide about franchising. Here we are now. We have another special guest, the one and only Richard Santos, my friend. How are you?
Good. How are you, Mr. Alvarez?
We don't hear you.
No, you don't hear me?
Volume is loud. Put more volume. Put more power to the microphone.
Can you hear me now?
A little bit louder. A little bit louder.
Now better?
It is a lot better.
Okay, good. So we are live now, huh?
Yes, we are live. We're live right now. So
Okay, good.
So definitely, no, the idea, Moises, why don't you briefly talk about, or Richard, why don't you take it from there? I know that you want to moderate this panel.
No. I mean, we want to have a conversation. We want to talk about the event. We want to talk about what happened that day and how significant it was for everything that we're doing as far as the Latino Franchise Association. So, Moises, what was your takeaway from the event?
Well, I was extremely impressed. I was just commenting a minute ago over several things. The first thing is that we had people coming from all over the country, from the south, the north, central, from Puerto Rico, with a huge, representation.
Right.
And that was so encouraging. I mean, on top of the World Trade Center, with the commanding view of New York City, it was just a fabulous day. The mariachi topped everything off. It was people were festive, and more than festive, I think it's a sense of hope for what it is that we're trying to do, and the impact of that it's going to have on the community. So those are some of my takeaways.
Excellent. We're gonna dive in and we're gonna talk more about that. But before we get to that, I would like Mr. Alvarez, or like I said to him, like that's how I call him, Rafael Alvarez, CEO, founder of the Latino Franchise Association. Mr. Alvarez, for those people that are connected right now and that are on Facebook or YouTube or LinkedIn, what is the Latino Franchise Association? Because some people might be connected right now, maybe they're not familiar with our organization.
Well, the Latino Franchise Association, was created with only one purpose. It's just to promote, franchising within the Latino community. The goal is simple. It's just to be able um, to bring a lot more Latinos as a franchisor brand owners, which right now there are not that many, and
Mhm.
also to be able to encourage others Latinos to invest in the beautiful and wonderful industry of franchising. It doesn't matter which brand they want to own. The idea of the association is to support them, to help them, to give them the knowledge, to give them the tools so they could really understand what franchising is all about and they can see the benefit that they can bring. I mean, as you know, numbers speak louder than anything else. And the number are not in our favor. That I can tell you because I've been a franchisor for many, many, many years. And the reality is that there are not that many brand owners. I'm just one of a handful of Latinos, maybe like what 30, 40 Latinos that own a brand. They're not that many, believe it or not. So what we're trying to do basically is to start changing and figure out a way um, how we can really turn that around. I mean,
Mhm.
numbers, like I said, speak louder than anything else. 63 million Latino in the country. We're the fifth largest, you know, country. If the Latino in the United States would be a country, we have the fifth largest GDP in terms of growth globally. So the numbers are there. It's just a matter that we feel like there is a lot more that needs to get done to help and support Latino in the franchising industry.
Right. And being in the franchising industry also for many many years, I also know that there are other organizations, there are other people that are contributing to the community. But Moises, why is it important for Latinos to understand the value of franchising? Why do you think why we have this mission of bringing franchising knowledge and the opportunities to our Latino community?
Well, that's a really great question. And I think it goes to the heart and the core, why we're doing this. See, we have a responsibility. We really do. Our generation right now, in this moment in time, we have a responsibility, and it's a huge responsibility. In the next 40, 50 years, the American economy is going to be completely dependent on what Latinos do for two very important reasons. We're about the most entrepreneurial group in the United States. And that's evident, in the fact that over 50% of all new businesses that are created, small businesses in the United States, are created by Latinos. And we went out there during the pandemic when people were hiding in their apartments,
Mhm.
in their homes, seeking refuge,
Mhm.
running away from a place like New York City, buying homes, away from the city. Latinos were creating businesses like nobody else. So that's one factor. The other factor is that in the next 40, 50 years, we're 60 plus million, but we're going to be 160 million.
Yep.
And that's a huge buying power. And there is no way that the American economy can really flourish and be strengthened without those two factors, our buying power and
Mhm.
our entrepreneurial spirit, really being supported in a very big way in order for all of us in the United States to be successful. That's why it's exciting, and that's the responsibility I think that we bear. And I'm grateful that somebody like Rafael and you, Richard, are willing, ready, and able to take up the task.
Absolutely, absolutely. And one of the tasks that we have is on education, because we all know that that's how we can get things done. That's how we can prosper. That's how we can move forward. But Mr. Alvarez, specifically talking about franchising, why franchising? Why not just grow like the traditional way where you have a bodega, then you open another one and another one, another one, and we all know how the story ends. Those businesses fail at the end of the day. So why franchising do you think is a great model for Latino entrepreneurs and Latino business owners that I want to take that opportunity to grow?
Well, as you know, there is two ways to grow a business in the United States. You either open up, corporate locations, which is the norm. If you want to expand and really has a very significant footprint across a city or across a state or across a country, that's the traditional way. That the other way, obviously, is utilizing the successful franchising business model. We didn't create it. I mean, it's been around forever, for many, 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 many years. And we all know that the franchising business model really works. The problem that we've seen, and I'm telling you because I travel all over the country, doing presentation, promoting my brand within the Latino community. And no matter which city I went, there were always one Latino that, after their Discovery Day presentation, the way it's called,
Hmm.
they usually come in and say, wait a minute, so what do you mean that I'm going to work, make money, and out of the money that I generate, how much, what percentage are you guys taking? Every time someone asks me that question, I realize, oh my God, these people, they don't get it. They don't understand it. They don't really see the value of what franchising really, brings. So the reality is that I realize that there is kind of like a cultural clash between Latinos, especially those that migrated from Latin America recently, compared with the traditional business owners. The reality is that Latinos prefer to try their own business and fail than really join a successful business model, which is very interesting. And Latinos in the United States, we are the ethnic group that is really opening up more businesses than any other group in within the United States. So so we definitely need to figure out a way how, through education, as you said, Richard, we can really prepare the next generation of Latino to really embrace the franchising industry and really take the advantage that franchising brings to any business.
Right. Moises, I know one of the mission, or I guess one of the phrases for the Latino Franchise Association is the go-to for Latinos in franchising. What does it mean when you say the go-to? What do we mean by that?
It's like transportation, a hub. Every city, in New York City, you have, I don't know, 7 or 8, 9, 10 major transportation hubs. Say Grand Central,
Hmm.
major hub. Why are hubs important? Precisely because they facilitate communication, education. It's through this instrument, this hub, that we're going to be able to get to people, and it doesn't exist right now. If
Right.
if anyone, if a Latino business owner, is thinking, where should I go with my business? What's my next step? Where
Hmm.
do I go from here? How do I take this business that I, worked so hard for so many years and I've made it into a really successful venture now, and I'm sitting comfortable,
Right.
but there is a next step for me, and what is that? And to the degree that they don't have access to the information and there's no place for them to go, it's a tragedy. And I think that's what we're trying to address. We're trying to be there so that when that question comes up,
Hmm.
what is the next step? When a successful business owner, wants to take it to a next level, he's got a place to go to with people who are knowledgeable, a source of information, resources, and the ways and means to make it happen. This is why we created this association, and why we're grateful for Rafael to have thought of the idea of putting it together. I think for the benefit of all Latinos in the United States.
Excellent, excellent. So now I guess we let's go. Let's talk a little bit about the event. Now, the what was that event all about, Mr. Alvarez, and when did it happen? Who was there? What was the purpose of the event?
Well, the event, it was what we call the official launch of the Latino Franchise Association. We have been working in this idea for years already, over a year planning, figure out a way how we're gonna do this. Contacting and connecting with a lot of Latino leaders nationwide that wanted to get a consensus and see if this was something that was something viable, that was really worth for us to get involved with and really to do and implement. So yes, we went all over the country. We visited and met with a lot of Latino leaders, and then everybody had the same consensus. It says,
Mhm.
"Hey, we definitely need to have an institution or an organization as a non-for-profit organization that will really be able to focus 300%, not 100, 300%
Mhm.
on the Latino community, that can really um, put together events, organize educational platforms that will help Latino to embrace the franchising industry in their own language, in Spanish or in English, if they are bilingual,
Right.
and being able to do expos, you know, the way I call it, the Latino way, because Latinos, I don't know, we are a very special kind of people. You know, we love to party too much, have fun, and everything is all around that, right?
Right.
So we figured out that there was a tremendous need of us really organizing and really being able to do this. What we're doing in reality, it is really enhancing the industry. I know the industry inside out. I know the players. As a matter of fact, I just became a certified franchise executive after so many years in the industry. So I pay my dues already. I know what this business is all about. What we're trying to do is to now, I guess, energize, if you want to call the industry,
Mhm.
by bringing a lot of Latino that have a lot of money. Number one, they have a lot of Latinos. They have a lot of money. They have a lot of resources. They are hardworking people.
Mhm.
They really, really, really want to grow and take their businesses to the next level. So why not to really do anything possible so they can really walk into the franchise industry? What we did basically is to look at 2022 last year. Okay, how many franchise Latino brand owners are in 2022 or were in 2022? And how many franchisees? And then let's just collectively, with all Latino leaders, let's just launch this association and let's see what's really going to happen in the franchising industry in a year, in 2 years, 3 years from now, 5 years from now. The goal is simple. The goal is to really bring thousands and thousands of Latinos. Right now they're looking in opposite direction. They're not really looking into the franchising industry. Yeah, they hear the noise about franchising, but they are not really embracing it. So what we're trying to do here is to really go door to door, like you remember Moises running those political campaigns in Washington Heights, right? Going door to door and really talk to these Latinos and tell them, listen, guys, wake up and smell the coffee. This is the way to now embrace business in the United States. You have to take your business and franchise it. You really have to build. And perhaps if you don't have a business, instead of investing on a new venture, go and invest on most of these traditional established franchise companies. There are so many wonderful brands that we all know that they are so profitable. So then why not? The other day I met with my buddy Marcus Thomas from Choice International Hotel, and he was telling me, "Man, what's going on in the Latino community? How come Latinos don't even own 1% of the hotel industry while you guys own 20% of the population? I don't get it. Where is the disconnect?" And that's something that we've been trying to figure out ourselves. How come in the hotel industry, Latino doesn't even own 1%, not even 1% in the hotels Latino own? So obviously, they are something is not working. And what we're trying to do is to change that around, turn it around, guys. We can do this. We have to turn this around and really go door to door, connect with Latino businessmen that, believe it or not, they are open minded. These people want to make money.
Mhm.
They really, but it's like anything else. It's all about knowledge. You know what you know.
Right.
Latino come to the United States, they figure, oh, the traditional way, the way they were doing it in their country,
Mhm.
doesn't matter which Latin American country was, they come in here and they're gonna do it the same way. But the
Right.
reality is that they have no clue. And I'm sure that if I ask both of you, have any of our parents really told us, guys, go to college, right? This is what my parents told me. Go to college, get a college degree, study hard, graduate, and believe me, you're gonna have a job and you're gonna be happier ever after, right? But none of my parents told me, by the way, there is something called franchising that if you really invest money there and take it very seriously, you're gonna be very successful and you'll really be well taken care of. So the
Right.
reality is that franchising is not part of the Latino language, and we're trying to turn that around, Richard. That's the goal.
Right. I get it 100%. And that was gonna be my next question. Like Moises, what are some of the initiatives of the Latino Franchise Association? How we're gonna change that mindset, and how are we gonna educate people to understand the value of franchising? Because that's the thing. It's not that they don't want to do it. It's just that they don't know how it works. They don't know the mechanics. They don't know the benefits. So, what are some of the initiatives specifically that the Latino Franchise Association has to help that cause?
Well, I'm going to flip that question a little bit back on you in a minute, but before I do that, because you're really the best person to answer that question,
Hmm.
because you bring an element that is so necessary and it's key to everything that we do, which is the use of technology and so
Right.
on and so forth, and that's going to be unique, you know, to our platform, to everything that we do, what have you. But the real reason I want to underscore why we're not in choice hotels or in that industry is because we don't have access to information. That's why the association was created, to bring the information out there into the public so that people can use it, because we have obviously people who are interested and have the wherewithal to
Hmm.
invest in what have you. The information is not there. We're
Right.
not in franchising because the information about franchising hasn't been made available, and those that have been in control of the industry have not made that a priority and don't feel the urgency that we do
Right.
to bring this information to our community. So that's why one of the segments that we're launching, and then I'm going to turn it to you to go into that question,
Hmm.
is this idea, a ridiculous idea, the Latinos are invisible. We're the largest group, we're the single largest group in the nation, and we're invisible.
Mm.
We have been here before the country was even established, and we're invisible.
Right.
It's a ridiculous way to demean, and to isolate and control and limit an entire population, and that's over. We're not invisible. We're gonna run a segment. Uh, um, it's gonna People are gonna see a lot of it, and it's called, essentially, let's talk about the unsung heroes. We have heroes in our communities. Every single business owner who wakes up in the morning against the tide, take their kids to school, and goes out and puts out, a 12, 14, 16-hour day in the business, gets back home to help them, with their homework and take care of the wives, the family, these are heroes, and they're creating wealth for our community, and they're creating an employment. And this is the other piece that is so critical about franchising, that it not only creates wealth and the opportunity to transfer that wealth from one generation to the other in a big way, intergenerational wealth transfer, right?
Right.
But also it creates employment opportunities. The
Yep.
industry alone hires, I mean, millions and millions and millions of people for businesses in our community.
Mhm.
So these are the changes that we're going to see as a result of this association. But Richard, tell us
Mhm.
about all the great platforms you've been working on and developing, to benefit those who get involved in the association. This is not just a talking group, is it going to be?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So, like you said, I mean, I think, and we all can see it now. This technology definitely has changed the way that we do things, the way we communicate, the way we do business, which is actually one of the reasons why a lot of times our community doesn't get involved into franchising or certain programs because sometimes they're afraid of technology. But one of the things that we want to do in the association is to create this ecosystem where we can connect everybody, franchisees, franchisors, suppliers, and we're gonna do that using technology because we want to do it in an effective way. We want to do it in a way that we can connect with people and give them the opportunity that they really need. Like one of the things that we're building is called El Centro. So I think Rafael was showing it there, and the idea is to list everybody that's in our system, everybody that's part of our association, to give them exposure, to show their services, to show their product, to showcase their brand, which is one of the most important thing that I also want to mention. We're not talking about Latinos becoming franchisees, but also becoming franchisors. We want to own the brands, not only be part of certain brands, which is great and it works really well, but you also want to build your own brand, and that's why we use technology. We're gonna be providing certifications education, workshops, conferences, everything to make the content and also the knowledge, like you were saying, Moises. It's not that we don't do it as Latinos, just that we didn't know. The information wasn't there available for us. And sometimes it wasn't even available in our language. That's one of the advantages that we have. We are bilingual, so we're going to bring the knowledge in both languages. But again, using technology to connect, to send a message, to share with as many people as we can so they can all join. But technology is the main driver. Technology and marketing, which go, hand in hand. I mean, that's what we're gonna be using. So very excited about that.
Well, knowledge is power. There's no question about it. We all grew up on a diet of that. That it sounds like the junior high school, valedictorian speech and what have you. And
Mhm.
now we who grew up on that diet are making it real.
Right.
And
So there's an example of a brand that we can highlight on the website. And if you're a brand owner, you can also get exposure. You could find franchisees that potentially will invest in your brand. So again, it's just creating that platform where everybody can connect and take advantage of the opportunity of franchising. Um, so going back to the event, what were some of the topics discussed in that event, Mr. Alvarez?
Well, we had a really full agenda. What we basically discussed, obviously, we laid out what the association was all about. That number one, that it's being established as a legitimate non-for-profit organization. I believe the association is under 501c4 trade organization, and obviously there will be a lot of other infrastructure and other organizations behind it, from creating also a foundation, creating a political action committee
Mm.
as a 501c6, I believe, or no, yeah, C6, right?
the other way.
The pack, or C4, and also creating an scholarship, funds to help Latinos really to go to college and be able to connect, and also find internships in a lot of the franchise headquarters, so they can really gain experience and perhaps switch a career, because in the future we're definitely going to be a lot of these franchise corporations. They're going to need a lot of manpower, a lot of staff that will be really, they're gonna need job placement. So if Latino understand franchising and they really see the value and they see that as a career, I'm sure that many of them will stay working there. So we definitely laid out what the association was all about. We created an organization that is gonna be creating our events for the association to create expos. We are already working on a series of expos that we're going to launch. I don't know if I should mention the name,
Well,
should
we're
I?
gonna talk about that in a
We're
minute.
going to talk about that in a minute. All right, so we're going to do a lot of
Yeah.
nationwide conventions, and also our annual, convention, and also nationwide expos. And at the same time, we're also collaborating and working with a lot of different Latinos franchise association throughout the whole Latin America, that we are connecting with them. We're gonna do events here. They're gonna come here. They're gonna do event there. Then we're gonna go there. Having that collaboration of bringing a lot of American brands, or brands that we're established in the United States, now we can bring them all all over Latin America. The same way a lot of the brands are being established in Latin America now, we have the system in place to be able to bring them to the United States, which is the goal of many of them. Amazing. Also, we had a lot of great speakers. Moises did a great speech about Latinos invisibility, right, and the power. Why it is important for Latino to really have an organization like this, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
You, you
We also have Jorge Ferraez.
you say Moises he was terrible. You want a
Most
second chance?
speaker.
You want a second chance?
No, you were great. You were great, Moises. You were great. If you guys don't believe me,
Yeah,
go to YouTube, the
But
Latino
tell us
Franchise
about
Association
Jorge.
YouTube channel. You're
uh,
gonna see Moises' speech. I mean, you did great.
it's in
But
action.
also we were happy to see Jorge Ferraez, who is the president and CEO of Latino Leaders magazine. Jorge He's based out of Dallas, Texas. Came from Dallas to be the keynote speaker, and he delivered such a powerful speech about Latino empowerment based on his so many years of experience. I mean, I really want to thank publicly Jorge because the guy he have interviewed so many powerful Latino in so many different areas throughout the whole nation that there was no one better than him to really explain the Latino contribution to this wonderful country.
Yeah.
And he really hit her, out of out of the park by basically explaining, after so many, he's done over 7,000 interviews in his career, over 7,000 interviews, so many Latino leaders. And the way he let it out, it was really, really, really great. Also, we have a very special speaker called Richard Santos that came all the way from Tampa, Florida, and talk really, really in a very powerful way about the value proposition and why brand owners, why franchisees, why suppliers, and even entrepreneurs to really join this association. And really, the way you put it together, Richard, was in a very, very, very well put together.
Thank you. Thank
Basically, explaining what is the value proposition. We're not here to take away. We have more to give, to
you. To add.
provide.
Yeah, to
and,
add.
and people that join the association, they have to have a meaningful benefit that they have to see it, that is tangible. And that's what you, in a way, Richard, you kind of explain to the audience. I
Yep.
mean, Ivan Jimenez, who is our VP of finance, he really did an awesome closing remark at the end, talking about the value proposition also in a very, from the financial, I would say, from the financial point of view, and really, or specifically focusing on the contribution that the Latino Franchise Association is going to bring to the United States economy. Think
Mhm.
about that. How much money, how much additional income this association will help to generate additional, not
Right.
what is being generated now, additional, that is going to help the United States economy. That's
Right.
what Ivan Jimenez was really talking about. And he said it also in a very eloquently way. Who else
Mhm.
we had? We had a great panel. I mean,
Oh,
Barry Nepper.
along those lines, one of the questions that I had earlier was, what is the association doing when it comes to capital, when it comes to providing that money that someone that's interested in franchising and that's ready to go, but it says, hey, my pockets are empty. How can I make this happen? I really want to do it. I have the drive. I have the motivation. I'm not afraid of working 80 hours a day. I want to do this. Moises, what is the association doing when it comes to capital?
Well, that's a great question because, for decades and decades and decades, those of us that have been participating in meetings with business owners, local business, national business owners, the issue of access to capital
Mhm.
is it's always the issue. It is
Right.
always, all of the conversations start and end with access to capital, because everybody knows that unless you've got money and access to capital, you
Right.
can't really take a business and expand it and take it to another phase. And many of our businesses, more than most other communities, depend on friends and and things like that, and family, to get their businesses off the ground, and then they generate their own. But all of those things have limitations. We're going to tackle this issue head on.
Mhm.
Already we're holding meetings with major banks. There were some representatives who were in the room of major banks.
Mm.
The idea is to create a major loan fund to support the work that we do and the work of entrepreneurs to take their great businesses models,
Mhm.
to greater heights. And
Right.
that's going to require a lot of money. We're talking not only to the banks, but also we're talking to nonprofit organizations and using economic development mechanisms
Mhm.
in order to address in a comprehensive and definitive way this issue, because we know that we could make all the noise we want around franchising or any business activity. But
Right.
unless we really work together, and we're going to need people who are listening to this, broadcast to step up,
Right.
and many people in many different areas to step up to
Mhm.
really put some real serious capital to support this business interest. Because again, it's the American economy, quite frankly, that's going to be dependent on it in so many different ways. So, great question. I'm glad you asked. And we ask people to keep your eyes and ears close to the ground because we are going to be addressing this issue in a very comprehensive way.
Right. And I'm glad you mentioned that because this is a community, so we need everybody's involvement. And speaking of that, Mr. Alvarez, how can let's start with the franchise with a franchisor. How a franchisor can be part of the association, and what is the value proposition for franchisors that will be part of the association?
Well, the association obviously needs to raise money because without funds, we know we won't be able to make it to first base, right? But yeah, we have some membership packages, and for franchisor, obviously, what we have built is a package of benefits that includes multiple way that they can see they get a significant benefit by joining us from obviously getting a full dedicated page um, that will promote their brand, which is the most important component. Because I know that what franchisor obviously, what are they looking for? Franchisor are looking to attract people that can buy the franchises. Pretty much, they're looking for potential franchisees, and
Right.
that is one of the goals that we're trying to achieve. I want to bring or deliver to our members that own a franchise brand. And the idea is to start developing a landing page that is going to be part of our marketplace we call El Mercado. And through El Mercado, that's a public page that we're going to be promoting within the Latino community in both English and Spanish to attract Latino that are really looking on hunting
Mhm.
for a franchise opportunity. So they'll be able to see the value proposition that all of these franchisors can bring and deliver. And the goal is that they sell many franchises throughout our marketplace. The other benefits are the most traditional one. We have a magazine that let me basically show some of the membership benefits in case that people wants to learn more about it. You just have to go click here where it says become a member, and you're
Mhm.
gonna find all the benefits. As a franchisor, we have an starting membership fee of $2,900, 29.99, and basically they have access. They will receive five free membership to their staff, discount in all event tickets that we're gonna be doing, free subscription to our magazine called Franquicias Magazine,
Mhm.
access to El Centro. El Centro is our community. It is a community that both franchisors, franchisee suppliers, and independents, we call it entrepreneur, will be able to interact with each other, connecting. They'll be allowed to post, do posting, video, promote their franchise brand. And also, obviously, they'll have access to the academy, the Latino Franchise Association Academy platform that we just launched. And we are, adding a lot more educational content. We're going to have also a directory that we're going to publish. They'll be able to have access to the marketplace once again, and there will be other benefits that they'll be able to receive. But the most important thing, like I said, franchisor Richard, what they're looking for is to really have access to the Latino community.
Mhm.
So Latino will be able to now buy their franchises.
Right.
That's really what a franchisor are looking for. That's why we are 100% sure that we will become the go-to organization for Latinos in franchising. We want to be that bridge. We want to be that vehicle that is going to take all of these brands and really, I mean, really, some of these brands really will feel like home now. They feel like really home. They're one. They're gonna feel Moises like if they're in Washington Heights in New York City, right in the heart of Washington Heights, right? Latino neighborhood, or in El Barrio,
El
or
barrio.
in Corona, Queens, right?
You know,
Right.
I want to just to add to what Rafael is saying by pointing out that one of the most important benefits of the association for franchisors, particularly Latino franchisors that are just so little and so few, is to meet each other, to find a place where they can meet each other, um, share experiences.
Mhm.
um, share techniques, thoughts, and just to be around each other. That is so important in our community, to build our community in this amazing model that can do so much for the community with each other. And I think that you can just not value, that the creation of that space alone, even if all we do just create the space and people just come,
Yeah.
that in and of itself, it will be of tremendous value to, I think, the community and the work we're trying to do.
Right.
So something else, Richard, that we're trying to
Uh-huh.
do that I think is important is also to help the brand owners, franchisees, because we see the value and we understand that yes, we're gonna help the brand owners to bring more franchisees, but also for us, it is as important also to connect with the franchisees and figure out a way how we can really help franchisees to really generate more income. How that particular franchise brand that is in the local neighborhood, Latino neighborhood, how they can really generate a lot more income. And we have a lot of great ideas. We also creating a landing page for each franchise. Think about this. Each franchisees within each brand is gonna have their own dedicated pages throughout the association. And the idea is that they'll be able to push our discount and coupon to attract more clients that can really buy their services or their products or
Mhm.
their food if it is a restaurant. The idea is also to embrace, because for us, I mean, hey, I'm a franchisor. I know what it is. But for the association, I think the most important component is the franchisees. Why? Because the franchisees are the ones that are in our neighborhood. Each brand headquarters, most of the headquarters, you think that the headquarters are in the Latino neighborhood? Moises, do you know any franchise headquarters that is in any Latino neighborhood? I haven't seen
No.
one, and I don't think you're gonna find one. Usually they are they are in a big corporate, headquarters somewhere in a beautiful area. So we really want to go to the neighborhood and really help those franchisees that already have footprints in our Latino neighborhoods across the country, and really, 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 really help them to generate more income, help them to get more clients, and really help them to grow. I mean, do I would say do a market, do a research on how many franchises are in a particular Latino neighborhood. I mean, have anyone done that? I don't know, but I would like to know.
Right.
By the way, we're also working in
Um,
releasing. Go
Go
ahead.
ahead, Moises.
the I'm sorry, you asked a question?
No,
No, let me just
what-
go on. There were
okay.
two organizations that participated in the launch. That I was just so impressed with their participation. And it's the New York Women's Chamber of Commerce, that's headed by the powerful Kenny Abreu, that
Mhm.
represents Latina women and African American women too, for that matter, in business. And all
Mm.
of the women-owned businesses that are important in our community are represented there. Um, and then the other one was Radames Rodriguez, who represents the Bodegueros Association, that is still a powerful. They move more food than any other sector in our community. And they both came to me afterward and told me how, one, impressed and committed they are to this idea of the association. In the case of the Bodegueros, that his comment just stuck with me. In fact, that evening, it just kept sounding over and over. And he says, Moises, I finally understand what the next step is for us as a sector. We got to talk. So these conversations, are pending. They're dynamic. There's so much activity that is going to come out of there. I know that association, the Bodegueros, and they have a presence throughout the entire city, state, uh, and they're moving fast in other states. I think that the future is going to be great, and that there's going to be a very, very powerful meeting of this franchise model and the Latino business community.
Yes, great. So I know one of the things that is in the works right now, it's in the planning and executing phase. It's an expo. Let's talk about the expo. What is the vision of the expo? When is it happening? What is gonna happen there? What's the agenda? What is the day, venue, and stuff like that? Ms. Harris, let's talk about the expo.
Well, obviously, in order for us to promote franchising, we really have to build event that really gonna be appealing to our Latino community. So we are creating expo, and we are gonna launch. The first one is scheduled to happen in August. At the end of August, it's gonna be here in New York City, right in the heart of Times Square, and the idea is to invite a lot of brands that wants to connect with the Latino community, that to come in and really showcase their brand, showcase their product to all of these Latinos, thousands and thousands of Latinos that we're gonna bring to this place. It's gonna be interesting for sure to have
Uh-huh.
the first 100% Latino, expo in the franchising industry here. It's gonna be very,
Yeah.
very interesting. But we are also counting with the collaborations of many um, association, and I have to give credit to our dear friend Ricardo Rivera, who is the president of la Asociación de Franquicia de Puerto Rico. Ricardo, we are collaborating and working with Ricardo both here. Ricardo came to New York City and also participated in the event, and we are also trying to do the same thing in Puerto Rico. He's hosting an event that was scheduled to happen in May, and now he just moved it. This is Ricardo, in case that people didn't know who he is. Ricardo Rivera, he came,
Mm-hmm.
and with Ricardo, he's organizing Expo Franquicia Caribe in Puerto Rico, and obviously the association is also supporting that event. It's taking place in May, and we have another strategic partner who is Jorge Ferraes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you should say that Ricardo, I mean, Ricardo is an advisor to the government of Puerto Rico.
Oh
He
yeah.
is the ultimate authority in the island when it comes to franchising and Latin America too, for that matter too, because he's well known in other places. But also he represents like 50 brands. I
Mhm.
mean, it's just to have him,
Yep.
fly from Puerto Rico and join us was just absolutely stunning.
Yep. It's key.
Yeah, Ricardo. So he's really having his event now in August. At the beginning of August, we're having ours at the end of August, and also at the same time, we're also collaborating with Jorge Ferraes. Jorge is organizing an event in Dallas, Texas. That is not new. In case you guys haven't seen Jorge, let's see. I think he's here. So Jorge, uh, he is
Well,
organizing. He has been organizing an event called um, Latino Franchise Symposium, who happened to take place at the headquarters. Let me show Jorge here. At the headquarters of
Yum Yum brand.
yeah,
Yep. Yep.
of Young Brands. Is Jorge here? Uh, I think that's him here being interviewed. Oops.
Uh-huh.
That's him.
Scroll up.
Yeah, let me. So Jorge, he's organizing a wonderful event in Dallas, Texas. His event is taking place on April 21st of this year. April 21st. He's having his event, and also we're gonna be there supporting him 100%. And Jorge has been organizing this event for the last 9 years, guys. Imagine that.
Wow.
9 years he's been doing this. So obviously, we decided to support him. As a matter of fact, here is the event that he's organizing. This is the ninth event, the ninth year that he's doing this, and we all here it is. It's called Latino Franchise Symposium 2023,
Hmm.
growing the footprints of the franchises business in the Hispanic marketplace. It's taking place in Dallas, Texas, at the Young Brands corporate headquarters. I'm gonna be there. The Latino Franchise Association is gonna be there. We're gonna have a panel of franchisor and franchisees that we're bringing. Someone said, "Start preparing your speech."
And your suitcase.
So
That was
it's
Too
the
much.
the ninth annual Latino symposium. So as you can see, we are really collaborating with some of the leaders, and it's the same thing. We're also gonna be at the IFE. I mean, the IFE is the largest franchising global event, if you want to call it,
Mhm,
and we're definitely gonna have a presence there supporting. We're gonna bring quite a few brands for the
mhm,
first time that is gonna be participating in that event. So we are once again we are bringing newcomers into the industry. So we're bringing brands into the franchising industry, and the IFE definitely is the International Franchise Expo that is take place here in New York City in the first week of June, 1, 2, 3, and 3rd. So, and also we're gonna be participating in many other different events, and we're doing seminars. We're doing seminars. We're
and
doing
Jorge,
webinars.
you said that Jorge has been organizing this for almost 10 years,
Yeah, this is the
yeah.
ninth event.
but we're invisible. Okay. A decade, but we're invisible.
Yeah. So
Mhm,
this is his event. This is Mark Madrid. Last year was there at the event. So this is a very nice event. It's at the headquarters of Young Brand. So the reality is that Jorge was, I would say, the first Latino leader that started embracing franchising within the Latino community. As you can see, he's been doing this event. This is the ninth annual Latino Franchise Symposium. So, I mean, Jorge deserves a lot of credit and a
Yeah.
lot of recognition for really, really being a champion and being able to do this for so many years.
Rafael, a case in point. Jorge's business, he's a publisher. He publishes a Latino Leaders magazine. That's his core business. You see it right on top of the event, and yet he's been doing this for 10 years. And this is, the reason why we felt the urgency. You remember in our conversations to put this association out there because you appreciate that people have been trying to put a spotlight on this model and how it can impact our community, but it's been piecemeal, and now we have an opportunity with an association to be comprehensive, to be deliberate and intentional, and to bring all of these forces together to move this agenda forward for the benefit of our communities. It's exciting, and I'm just so grateful that
mhm.
Jorge has been doing this for so long, and we could never thank him enough.
Yep.
We're
Uh,
almost running out of time, but Richard, go ahead.
let's go back to the event. So August 2023, New York City. What is the title of the event? We haven't mentioned the title.
Yeah, the title of the event is gonna be kind of what we Latino are all about. We're gonna throw a big fiesta, right? It's called Franquicia Fest. It's a festivity. It's a festival of franquicias, of franchises that we're gonna have. Really, we're gonna have a lot of brands, a lot of brands. Some of the traditional brands that you guys already know, a
Mhm.
lot of newcomers, a lot of new ones are joining, the industry, and we also bring in some brands from many Latin American countries. So the
Right.
reality is, it's gonna be interesting, and also the most important thing is that we're gonna bring a lot of Latinos to that event. Thousands and thousands and thousands of people are gonna be walking through that aisle. I don't know. I've been in a lot of expos. I've been in a lot of trade shows. So I know that, I mean, that is like music to our ear, to a franchisor that is exhibiting on an exhibit floor. When they see the hall is loaded with a lot of people, and a
Yeah.
lot of people asking questions and really connecting and really interested in being able to learn about their brands and all of that kind of stuff that happen. So we're gonna make it very fun. I mean, it's gonna be a fun event because that's what we Latino are all about.
The Latino way.
The Latino way. We're really gonna have a party on a jet
Uh-huh.
on the first day, the first night. We're gonna have a big fiesta, in the jet
Yeah.
around the New York City
Don't,
Harbor
don't give
right
them all
there.
the surprises yet. Don't
Oh,
give them all the
surprises! Don't give
surprises.
the surprises. You want me to hold on?
Not yet.
Not yet. All right. So
We are conscious that when people come to New York City,
Mhm.
they're gonna work hard, but they gotta have fun. So we're
Yes.
gonna make this event fun, and people are gonna want to come back not next year, but they're probably gonna say, "Hey, are you gonna do this in a couple of months again?"
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. And of course, educational. We're gonna learn a lot. We're gonna meet a lot of people. You're gonna get to the opportunity to know brands and
Never.
to see if you might be willing to invest in one of them. I mean, the whole idea is, again, like the mission of the association, which is connect. That's what we're gonna be doing at the event. Is connecting everybody, getting to know each other, and also being part of the association as well. We're gonna invite everybody to join, to be part of the association and help us with this mission that we have, because we're really gonna need the support from everybody: suppliers, franchisors, franchisees, entrepreneurs, and anybody that is looking to prosper, to have a better economy for their family, to leave a legacy for their families as well. So it's gonna be a great event. I'm excited about it, and also I'm excited to see like a franchising expo with a Latino twist. That's what I'm looking forward to, because I haven't seen
Near Times Square. Near Times Square.
that.
I think Times Square is gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting.
Uh,
The heart of the city.
I mean, I've been in franchising expos, but I want to see this one that we're building for sure.
Actually, down the block from Rockefeller Center, three
Mhm.
blocks from Times Square.
Yes, it's center. I mean, New York City. I mean, it's the city. A lot of people say
And by
that.
the way, people should know, for those of you that are not from New York City,
Mhm.
New York City is back. Has been back. I
Yes.
We're
mean,
open.
we're back to our traffic jams, and all the things that we used to
Don't
complain
remind
about.
me.
We love to have them now. It's so wonderful to be stuck in traffic and not working from home. So New York City is back. It's gonna be a great event.
Excellent, great. So I think there's some people that may be connected now or late at the to the Facebook Live. We want to end with a Moises, if you will. Again, let's reemphasize the mission of the Latino Franchise Association, and why franchisors, franchisees, entrepreneurs, and suppliers should go to the website after the live, right? latinofranchise.org, and join the association. Why should they join, Moises?
We have a huge responsibility, as I mentioned when we started this broadcast. The economy of the United States is going to be severely damaged if the Latino community, both as entrepreneurs and as consumers, are not healthy. It's that simple. So, supporting the Latino entrepreneur, an unsung American hero that has been doing it all without very little support, and you can see the data speaks to that, is really a way to help the United States to be more competitive in the next 40 to 50 years. Now, what that will mean for our community is just beyond our description right now. Quite frankly, beyond sometimes even our own understanding. But we know that this is one of the most effective mechanisms to transfer significantly wealth from one generation to the other, because the model is built for that. So it's about the personal financial health of those who come, and what that means for their families, for our community, and for the nation.
Excellent. Ms. Iris, what is your last message to people that are watching right now, and people that are gonna see this video after it has been recorded and posted on our social media? What would be your last message, and the invitation for everybody?
Well, I really would like to invite everyone to join the association for sure, so they can really benefit and see what we are building. We're building a very strong and solid organization that is really will be contributing tremendously to the United States economy. That will be creating a lot of jobs opportunity. That will be creating a lot of wealth to a lot of Latinos nationwide. That really will be able to make the famous American dream that everybody talks about, I think that we have a formula and a vehicle that can make that dream a lot more accessible and affordable, right?
Right.
So I really ask you to join and support the association in any way you can, because this is gonna be a great benefit not only for Latinos, because the reality is that the whole franchising industry, believe it or not, the whole franchising industry is going to benefit of everything that we're doing, and I know that as a fact. The whole
Absolutely.
franchising industry is going to benefit because we are bringing a brand new breed of franchising people that are going to join the industry, and it's really going to continue, I would say, increase or accelerate the growth of everything that is happening in the industry without not taking anything away from anyone that has been working, collaborating, and participating in the industry. I love IFA. IFA is my home. I am a product of the International Franchise Association. I will continue collaborating with the International Franchise Association. We know that what we're doing, it will help and enhance, and even it will even will help to grow the association and make
Okay.
the National Franchise Association even larger and bigger and even better in a way. So it's all for good and for the better, right?
Excellent, excellent.
For
So,
America. Let's do it for America.
Let's do it for America.
well, actually, let me correct both of you. I'm sorry to do a public give up for the world, because
Yeah,
remember,
yeah,
we are also international. Remember,
that's
don't
right.
forget.
International.
Eh,
Remember,
My
we says we are no longer in Washington Heights.
And in fact, we should let people know. People should know that we are regularly every week having 2, 3, 4 conversations with key players in Latin America
Yes,
Yeah,
around
absolutely.
definitely.
franchising, and they're coming to us. They're
Yep.
coming to us. They learn. They're learning that we're around, and their same response. Oh my God! Finally, when was this going to happen? You did it. We have a space now where we could really begin to focus and reorganize this sector in our community. So it's exciting.
It is exciting. So, thank you all for joining us. We're gonna be here every week. We're gonna talk about a lot more about the Franquicias Expo that is coming up in August, and we want all of you to participate. So stay tuned. Next Thursday, we're gonna come back and talk about a little more about what we're doing as far as the different initiatives that we spoke about today, and also follow us on social media. We are in all of them: Facebook, Instagram, even TikTok. So we're everywhere. Follow us, support us, and that's what we're here. We're here to provide you an opportunity that we haven't, as Latinos, as a community, we haven't been able to capitalize on, and we're gonna help you do that. So stay tuned. See you next time.
Holan,
Y yes,
Holan,
ah,
saluda aquí desde Puerto Rico.
ah,
We
hey,
have a follower in Puerto Rico.
Hey,
We're gonna be in Puerto Rico in August. Teníamos la maleta lista para mayo, pero nada, nos cambiaron los planes. So we're gonna be in San Juan at the Expo Franquicia Caribe in San Juan, Puerto Rico. So I hope to see you there, my friend. We're definitely
amamos a
supporting
Puerto
100% Ricardo Rivera in
yeah.
Puerto Rico. All right, guys, that's it, Richard. Wrap it up.
See you. Take
All right, guys, bye. Until
bye.
next time.
See you next time.